The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the rest of the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B. And we're still mourning the lives of the 26 people who were murdered last Friday at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. We'd also like to tell the families of the victims that we are praying for them. Our condolences and prayers go out to everybody in that town in the aftermath of this horrific tragedy. I know the president got on TV the other day and he spoke about a number of things, and he pointed out mental health and gun control, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot done in that particular area. A lot of people are talking about it, and people are tired of all of these tragedies happening all over the country. And America seems to be the leader as far as horrific tragedies of this nature. So, yes, there has to be something done. A lot of us are still shaken. We have children. I know a lot of you have children and are still thinking about it. But hopefully some good will come out of it. Leading off the show will be Steve Stryker, the Director of Communication, New York Cares. Today he'll join us and tell us about their recent coat drive and what else they're doing, all the things that they're doing with hurricane victims of Hurricane Sandy. Sandy's still with us, huh? Sandy Hook, Hurricane Sandy, what other Sandys are going to come by? After that, our open nutrition consultant and registered dietitian, Fiorella DiCarlo, will join us here, and she will tell us how you should balance your meals during the holidays. Then trumpeter Duke Jones, he's going to talk to us about Cafe Soul All-Stars and what he's doing to keep jazz alive in New York City. Musical guest tenor singer Rogelio Panaverde Jr. He's going to perform today on today's Music Monday. So stay tuned. All this and more headed your way because we are now open for business. And good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and we're back. Thank you for watching Open. Today's Monday, December 17th. We're just, I'm going to say just minutes away from the big holidays. And we got a great show for you today. The holidays are coming up, and with it comes meals and celebration. DJ Kool Clyde doing Christmas parties on the ones and twos today. DJ Kool Clyde, I know you've been through a rough weekend, right? Since Friday we've been going. But what are your thoughts for the holiday season?
Well, of course, I'm going to spend time with family, always thanking God for another year. I don't celebrate Christmas, but, I use this time to really reflect back on spending time with loved ones and that people who really care about you generally. And I think it's about time that we share that spirituality and that energy together.
And, a number of things have been going on this holiday season. People are shopping, people are going to malls, trying to get things ready for, the holiday season, foods and gifts and all of that.
Well, a lot of people also dealing with mental illness that we need to talk about, and I think that's very key. And I don't want to, put things on a sad notion, but if you look on the news, every time you turn around, there's major disasters that are occurring right now. And I think that as long as we don't pay attention to mental illness, and I'm not talking about people who are criminals, who are in jail. I'm talking about people who are in the military coming home to mental illness that are not being dealt with. You have a lot of
post-traumatic
stress, and they may go into these hospitals and they're dealing with it on a cosmetic level, but inside people are hurting. People are smiling every day, but they are dealing with pain.
This is the most stressful time of the year. We talk about it on WBLS. I have something running on the radio now with our daily doses, and we have people talking about how to combat stress during this holiday season, because it's like amplified around this time of the year for some reason.
Yeah, well, a lot of it has to do with media. Media does play a very important role, how people behave in the temperature. People are influenced by what they see on TV. I think if people take out the basic things, far as loving each other, just help somebody across the street, call somebody up and say you missed them. If you have a problem with somebody, reach out to them. Stop holding on to things something that might have happened 20 years ago. Yeah. Let it go. Life is too short. I mean, you heard that major disaster that happened out in Connecticut. I think that gun control plays a role, but nobody's defining what is gun control. They're talking about gun control, but what is gun control? All these guns are all over. People are increasingly using guns, and I think that they're going to have to find a way to combat this situation. Stop putting Band-Aid over cancer.
It happens every day throughout our nation.
Of course
I get
it does.
a lot of reports of things that are happening in and around the city. But we hope that people can overcome this, and we hope that there's going to be some good that comes out of this.
Eventually, but you got to pay attention to God because He's talking to us all across this world.
DJ Kool Clyde on the way in. All right. We got to take a quick break, but up next, we'll hit you off nicely. Director of the New York Cares Organization will join us, and we'll be right back on Open next.
Such a wonderful time of year. So wonderful to be here with all of you. Dreidel-filled stockings, menorah-top trees, carolers come knocking, our hearts are now at ease. Water gives a meal is a miracle of meat, and if you're looking for a deal,
welcome home, man.
When it's time for lunch, a sandwich is a quick and easy choice. And with the right ingredients, it can be good and good for you. So I'm here today to see who can build the ultimate sandwich. All right, when the time is up, our judges will give you their scores. Ready, set, go! Okay, Jason starts out with a multi-grain roll. Ooh, Allison stuffing her pita with, yes, spinach, a great source of iron. Jason isn't skipping on the protein, adding plenty of smoked turkey, like Allison's putting the finishing touches with crispy red bell peppers for a dose of vitamin A. Time! It looks like we have a tie. We'll need to call in our special guest referee.
Now these are what I call quick, delicious lunches. Whole grain breads, a whole variety of ingredients. There are so many different ways to build delicious, healthy sandwiches. These two get high marks in every category. I'd say you're both winners. America.
Let's get healthy together.
Here she come now, say money, money. Shoot 'em down, turn around, come on, money. Hey, she give me love and I feel
Oh, we're on live. All right, welcome back, everybody. Just trying to lighten things up a little bit. Our first guest is the Director of Communication for New York Cares, who has over 56,000 people who volunteer each year, as well as help over 40,000 people in devastated areas, devastated New Yorkers. Please welcome Steve Stryker. Stryker, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty. Now, New York Cares has been around for a while. We've been hearing about them on radio, listening to public service announcements on television. We see you guys out in the community. I think you have vehicles that go by that says New York Cares on them. You guys have been around since the 80s, right?
We have. We are 25 years old. This is actually our 25th year.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much.
Yeah. So give us a little history of New York Cares.
Well, New York Cares started 25 years ago. Some New Yorkers here felt that they wanted a faster, more impactful way to volunteer, way to give back to their community, way to make a difference in their community. And wanted it to be able to not only fit traditional work schedules, but also non-traditional work schedules. New Yorkers work in a variety of industries, do a variety of things, and that means different hours. A lot of New Yorkers work a lot, but a lot of New Yorkers still want to give back and want to have an agency that can provide them those opportunities. And that's how it started.
Yeah. And what kind of programs do you offer?
Well, you name it. We work with about 1,500 community partner agencies, and that's schools.
Is it community-based organizations, nonprofits?
Nonprofit schools, social service agencies, shelters, so on and so forth. And we supply them with volunteers to help them, reach their capacity and fulfill their missions. So whether it be tutoring programs, SAT prep classes, tax preparation projects, things like that, meal services, you name it, we have volunteers out there.
And keeping New Yorkers warm.
And keeping New Yorkers warm, yes. I think many New Yorkers probably know us best for our coat drive. That's kind of our signature event. And this year, it's I guess more special than ever, due to the circumstances.
Well, this is good to see you. I mean, we just did a big coat drive with you at the Regal Theaters, Studio 14 on 14th Street with WBLS.
Absolutely.
You were there in the morning.
I was there in the morning. It kicked off great, so I'm glad to see.
There was a live broadcast, and we all had a great time. A lot of coats, people brought a lot of coats in from all over the tri-state area. It was wonderful.
Yeah, actually there was a distribution event, I believe, the very next day. So a lot of those coats that people gave that day were actually in the hands of those who needed them the very next day.
Isn't that something? Wow.
Yeah, so it was, it's really, really a special thing, right?
Great job. And you have another coat drive coming up?
Right. Well, we're in the midst of the coat drive. Technically, for New York Cares, goes from November through the end of the year.
Right. So you just have them at different places, but
yeah, absolutely. There are collection sites. We have collection events like the WBLS event, but there are also collection sites around the city. More than 300 around the city. Every police precinct, you can drop your coat off now through December 31st. Every public library in the city, whether it be here in the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, you name it. It's
and this is not just for Hurricane Sandy. I mean, Hurricane Sandy still lingers. It's the longest hurricane.
Yes.
It's still here. I mean, we're still doing a lot of things for Hurricane Sandy, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We did start the coat drive early this year. Usually we started on November 15th. We started it almost 2 weeks early because of the unique demand created by Hurricane Sandy. And that still goes on today. We doubled our goal. Typically, our goal, we base it on the estimated need around the city, and it's usually around 100,000. This year, due to our estimated demand, we doubled it to 200,000. So we're trying to collect 200,000 coats.
Wow. And these are going into some of those devastated areas?
They are. Yeah. Lots of them are. We had the distribution event last week was in the Rockaways. We have a Staten Island distribution coming up. And so, definitely some of those areas that need the most right now. It's where a lot of the coats are going. Yeah.
What do you tell our viewing audience? Do you need volunteers? Do you need them to step up and bring coats to different places, or?
Well, absolutely. We definitely need coats. That's absolutely imperative right now. We definitely need coats. The other thing that we have is we are doing a lot of hurricane response and relief projects.
Yeah.
We are. And I want to definitely say that we need volunteers in those areas, and definitely, whether they student groups, civic groups, local community groups, we need volunteers out in the Rockaways, in Staten Island, Sheepshead Bay, Garrettson Beach. We need volunteers out there clearing out debris, getting people back in their homes. That's what we're trying to do right now, because a lot of the homes are, they were damaged, they were wet, damp, mold has formed, and people can't actually go back into their homes yet. And and we have a capacity for about 100 people a day, 500 up to 500 on the weekends.
A lot of people are still cold.
Absolutely.
They can't turn on the power because the basements are filled up with water, and those power boxes are in the basement.
Absolutely.
So they have to reconnect and fix all of those things first before they can flip the switch.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, a lot of the city's shelters are very taxed right now because people can't go back to their homes. So right now we are working as fast as we can to get people back in their homes. So we need volunteers, definitely. And you can go to our website and sign up to volunteer tomorrow if you so choose.
What's that website again?
NewYorkCares.org.
NewYorkCares.org. Make sure you go right to that website, NewYorkCares.org. And I'm sure, a lot of us have these coats in our closets that we didn't use in a long time, and we go to put it on, but you say, I don't know where that. If you're not wearing it and you think maybe you gained a little weight or lost a little weight, it doesn't fit you right, maybe take it out of the closet and give it to somebody who really needs it. You'll feel good about it, knowing in your heart that you help somebody become a little warmer this holiday season.
Absolutely. I think we had a letter from a person who donated coats, and they said that, a coat, they can imagine going another day cold. A coat really personalizes giving for them.
Yeah.
Everybody's been cold on a walk to work. Everybody's been cold taking out the garbage. People, everybody has experienced being cold, and I think, that really puts kind of a, really drives it home. The need is driven home, and I think that, inspires a lot of people to donate.
What's some of the most memorable times since you've been working there? During your contribution time to New Yorkers.
Yeah.
What sticks out in your mind?
Really, it's been the past month. The past month since Hurricane Sandy. This is something that a lot of people didn't plan for, and including New York Cares. We were ready. We had volunteers ready to go. We had systems in place, but the recovery is going to be a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint, and we've really had to prepare ourselves and continue putting systems in place to be there for the long haul for New Yorkers, because that's what we do in the end, and that's what we're going to try to do, and to see New Yorkers, to see our organization, to see everybody come together in response to this hurricane and this disaster. It's been really inspiring for me, and something that really I think is going to make us stronger in the long run.
Yeah. How do you prepare for something like this? You can get prepared, but so much. You say, okay, in the event that this happens here, we have these things in place. What are some of those things that you have in place?
Well, we had for New York Cares specifically, we had we have protocols that we follow. We were designated by the city's Office of Emergency Management to be the organization that spontaneously mobilizes volunteers, and that happened after 9/11, in fact.
Yes.
And so we had protocols in place. We had communications chains. We had ways to communicate if certain systems with technical systems within our organization went down. And so we had those things together, and we had ways of calling on volunteers and getting them to places where they needed to go. Transportation issues that we had and systems that we had in place.
Right.
But it is an emergency,
right.
And in some cases those plans held us together.
Yes.
But in other cases, there were things that we that are very difficult to plan for.
Sure.
And that requires a flexibility, and I really was proud of our organization to see our flexibility and in that time of adversity.
Yeah. Well, you don't know the intensity of whatever's getting ready to happen.
Absolutely.
But you do have those things in place so that when something does happen, in the event that it does happen, you have the basics down.
That's right.
You have
that's
some
right.
training and some background, and everybody knows where to go.
That's right. That's what we try to do.
Yeah. No, New York Cares, NewYorkCares.org.
That's right.
That's where we go.
All spelled out.
And you need people.
And we need people.
Let
and
everybody
we need
know.
Coats. That's our reason for being right now.
People in coats. People in coats. We want you to come out of your coat and give your coat, and because you can get another one. Some people can't. So you'll be blessed because everything's a circle. It comes right back around to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Steve
very much.
Stryker.
That's right.
Keep hitting them.
Will do.
I got to take a quick break, but when we come back, our open nutrition consultant, Fiorella DeCarlo, will join us here. But first, let's take a look at the Starry Night Gala, children's theater show in Riverdale.
The holidays won't be the same without the cheer of our kids. Today, the youth of the Riverdale Children's Theater Company are bringing in the holiday spirit to the community. Let's check it out. For the Starry Night Gala, the kids were the ones shining as parents came out to support them in their third holiday fundraiser. Known affectionately as RCT, the program provides training to youth with a passion for the stage.
Our goal is to really bring the joy of live theater to kids all over the Bronx, both performing in and seeing great shows.
It's a fun experience where we do fun shows and we meet fun people. Great dancing, great acting, everything is spectacular.
The program also makes a way for parents with limited financial resources to enroll their children through RCT Scholarship Fund.
The Scholarship Fund is immensely important so that we can be inclusive, so we can be diverse, and we can include all the children that actually want to participate.
It is so important for young people in the Bronx to have the opportunity to participate in programs like this. You know, being in shows, singing, dancing, acting. My kids did that, and it was a wonderful part of their lives. In fact, it still is.
I'm happy to be a part of RCT because it's where you can sort of just express yourself through like acting or singing, and it's fun.
A great production and possibly the beginning of a young star's career. Watch out for them. You may catch one of these kids on Broadway one day. For BronxNet, I'm Veronica Boipin.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
In the discussion with like sleep.
Yeah. Hi, welcome back, everybody. Our guest is a registered dietitian in open nutrition. We were just talking just off television. I guess we got caught talking about a number of things because it's very interesting what she has to say this holiday. Today, should tell us what we can do to eat healthy during the holiday season. So please welcome back our friend Fiorella DeCarlo, Open's dietitian. Yes, indeed. Registered dietitian.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, there's a lot of things happening. You know, people are, I guess this is most, shall I say, somber time of the year or stressful time of the year.
It is.
What can people do to help them cope with stress this holiday season?
It's hard. You know, people are busy and they sometimes don't even have time to kind of concentrate on stress reduction techniques, you know. But in general, I would always recommend trying to acquire some sort of balance, you know. Around the holidays, people get hectic with, you know, certain stresses at work, and now everything that's going on in the news is obviously affecting everyone. And, you know, they don't have a lot of time to take some time out to take care of themselves. And so, and then they're going into the season and they're also worrying about eating and how they're supposed to eat, and going into all the holiday parties also, and making sure that they're, you know, navigating that in a way in which that is not going to add even more stress to their lives. So I think the key here in essence would be balance, you know, to have balance in terms of anything that you do. For example, even in eating now, you know, to have, I call it the balanced plate. You know, I always say, we always discuss about having everything in moderation. Nothing is definitely off the list. But if you have a balanced plate, you know, you have at least half of it that's fruits and vegetables. And the rest is whatever you want in moderation. And if you can just keep that kind of balance and take that through to the holiday season, you're less apt to go out of control.
And that helps with the way you feel.
Yes.
The way you eat plays a major part in the way you feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the other thing, too, that I also say is that I know it's cold and I know it's dreary and we sometimes lack motivation at this time of the year. But what we can do also to relieve our stress and help with our weight maintenance efforts is to add exercise to our regimen, you know.
Yes.
We need endorphins, we need the serotonin to start to roll, you know, and my recommendation is at this time of the year especially is add 20 minutes to your routine, which the rule applies to anyone. If someone is doing nothing right now, 20 minutes will certainly help. If someone is doing 30 minutes right now, doing an extra 20 will definitely make them feel a lot better also.
Yeah.
So just sneaking little times into your schedule to where you can do this, 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be a workout at the gym. It could be a walk to and from home. It doesn't have to be an elaborate workout session for you to get the mental health benefits from that exercise.
And if you are glued to the television, you are on the couch, maybe when the commercials come in. Use the commercial time.
Exactly.
Right, some of them are 30 seconds a piece, you know, and they get, you know, they'll do about 3 or 4 minutes worth of commercials. Jump down, you got 4 minutes to do some push-ups, something in your seat, or some sit-ups or something like that.
Absolutely. I mean, do not underestimate those little spurts of activity and exercise. They really do, and they do add up.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I will always recommend is at this time of year, people tend to skip meals in preparation to any holiday party or celebrations, but I would say do not do that. Eat your meals every day. You could keep them lighter, on the lighter side, but certainly eat them. 2 things happen if you don't. Your metabolism slows.
Whoa.
Second, and that's something we don't want.
Yeah.
And the second thing that it does is that when you don't eat regularly, you feel down and drained. And there comes the feelings can seep in of being overwhelmed and depressed and sad. So eating regularly boosts serotonin levels in your brain too.
Isn't that something?
It's very important to do that, you know. And also the other benefit of it is if you're eating regularly during the day, you're not apt to overdo it once you get to the party and you see the elaborate buffet, you know, when you're starving.
All the stuff that you're not supposed to eat. Oh, look at all this food here.
Right, right.
What about water? What part does water play?
Oh, water is, you know, basically the essence of life. You know, you need it in your body for all the metabolic functions to be performed. You know, you do need it. And again, it's one of those things when I talk to someone that's like, you know, I'm really fatigued, I'm really tired, and I'm kind of down, I'm kind of lethargic. And I look at what they're doing, and one of the major things they're doing is not having enough to drink because it can create those feelings of lethargy and kind of making you feel down and depressed. And then all of a sudden, it's as simple as drinking water throughout the day, at least 1.5 liters-ish, depending on your activity level too. And all of a sudden, they feel, you know, rejuvenated.
Yeah. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
She fell and had a concussion.
Oh.
She had a stomach virus. So I guess she was dehydrated.
Yes.
She got dizzy, fell, had a concussion.
Wow.
So I guess people who are not drinking enough water or getting rid of a lot of water in their body become dehydrated.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and dehydration also increases blood pressure. A lot of things can happen, you know, so you definitely want to stay hydrated. And the other thing too is at this time of year, what is the best stress relief and, you know, body, you know, control and balance is sleep. Is something as luxurious as sleep as it can be for all of us, right?
Sleep is a beautiful thing.
It is a gorgeous thing, you know. Getting your 7 to 8 hours is the most restorative thing that you can have for your body.
I wish.
Yeah,
See,
right?
Look,
I mean,
he's rubbing his eyes over here. He said, all right. I didn't get enough last night.
It's and you know, and the other thing that happens too is what happens when you don't sleep is that your hunger and your satiety hormones, your ghrelin and leptin levels in your body start going out of whack.
Yeah.
So you tend to eat more because of that. And also you're up longer, so your body needs more energy, and sometimes we, you know, give into that. So in order to stabilize all the hormones in our body in terms of hunger and satiety, we need sleep.
Yeah.
We have to.
And you know, a lot of people, the mistake a lot of people make, I'm guilty of it from time to time too, is that you're sleepy but you're hungry at the same time.
Right.
So then you eat something.
You do.
And then you lay back on the couch or something like that and you fall out with all that food in your stomach. Look, she's smiling. She
Yeah,
does
she
it too.
knows what's going on. Exactly. And that's kind of the trap we get into.
Yeah.
You know, we're exhausted. We're an exhausted nation. We're running on empty, especially here in New York, you know, and then what do? We get quick pick-me-ups. We load up on caffeine. We load up sometimes on food for energy. And really what we knew is we just really need to sleep so that everything else could be more balanced,
Yeah.
you know.
What about those things that people use, those energy drinks?
Well, you know, again, if you're eating regularly and you're eating every couple of hours, any energy that your body needs and is capable of handling can come from natural foods. Anything that is coming in a bottle like that is synthetic, what you are depending on generally is caffeine and added sugar. That is what those things contain, those, you know,
And it can
energy
be
drinks.
dangerous.
Yeah, you know, and absolutely the way that you use it can be dangerous. Some vitamins that they put in there, you know, if you drink that regularly, it could, you know, reach toxic levels. There are definitely many things. I personally believe that everything that you need is available through natural products.
You have it.
You don't need anything other than that. Now, mind you, caffeine in general, there's always discussion around caffeine. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it bad? And the truth is, again, the moderation. In a lot of ways, you know, for people who have some type of heart condition,
Yes.
it may not be in elaborate amounts. It may not be the best thing for you to do. But everyone else, it's been shown a cup a day actually prevents the onset of Alzheimer's, a lot of cognitive decline in older age. And, you know, and sometimes you do need a little bit of a boost in the morning, but it's a matter of dependence.
So a cup a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm for it. You know, caffeine, you know, the coffee bean itself it contains antioxidants. You know, it's a matter of making sure that you're hydrated because it can dehydrate you too this time of year. Remember that with every cup of coffee you have, you should have added water to that, you know.
There you go.
So that should definitely be helpful.
All right, so for the holiday season, run it down.
Yes, what you want to do is you want to keep your plate balanced, okay? Half of it should be fruits and veggies and the rest indulge. Okay, in moderation. Then add 20 minutes of activity to your day. It could be walking, it could be anything. Just boost it up. It helps your serotonin levels.
There you go.
Then sleep. Watch your alcohol intake because it lowers inhibitions, okay, and then you tend to eat more. But just relax. Take time out for yourself.
There you go. Thank you so much. Registered dietitian, Fiola DeCarla. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
happy, healthy, prosperous holiday season. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll return with jazz trumpet player. He's the trumpeter, Duke Jones. But first, the 8th annual Make the Grade Gala recently took place. BronxNet correspondent T. Veronica Volpum, she was there. A couple of stories. Check it out.
The Make the Grade Foundation has been going strong for 8 years, helping children to put education first. Tonight's fundraising dinner is to ensure that the mission continues. The foundation, led by Bob Lee, has gained much support from organizations who see the vision of community helping to raise a child.
Well, you know, nothing's easy when you're doing something positive in our community. You just hope that when you're doing something positive that a lot of people come together to help move in that same direction. But, you know, we've been doing it for a little while, like you said, 8 years, and people have been just climbing aboard.
The journey has been wonderful. We have done many things with the youth. Especially with building our radio stations. That's been really a hit with us. So a lot of people have asked for the internet radio communications. For the future, we still do see us educating the children, working as a collaboration with parent, teacher, student, community, and educators, and just to continue to make the grade.
I think nonprofits need to support one another because we're all basically in the same fundraising boat, the same outreach boat, the same information gathering and information giving boat. So if we support one another, more of our messages will spread to other organizations. And supporting Make the Grade is very important for us.
Along with raising money for the organization, the gala also serves as a place to honor individuals who are leaders in education. Tammy Miller from the United Federation of Teachers and Cecil Wright from Monroe College were a part of the honorary roll.
It is proof that when organizations and foundations like Make the Grade give back to the community, it gives opportunity to succeed, opportunity to excel, and that's what we need to do. Constantly reinvest in our young people, constantly make the commitment and time so that they have a fighting chance to succeed in life.
A lot of these kids just need someone to hold their hands and to pull them up, you know? And so my job is just to motivate these kids and make sure and every single day, they understand the number one responsibility is to get an education because that can change your lives.
So the next time you see this logo, stop, pause, and log on to the website below and see how you can support and make the grade count. For BronxNet, I'm Veronica Boispen.
When I started out, it was just a matter of seeing you every day. I look forward to the time when you would come my way.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Veronica, Melissa. You put a nice package together. DJ Cool Clowns on the ones and twos. We were just getting into the music and all that stuff. Our next guest is a jazz trumpeter who has been influenced by the likes of Woody Shaw, Benny Bailey, and Miles Davis. Today, he's here to discuss his life in jazz and how to keep it alive. And he has a big club out there. You know, Duke Jones is in the house. Big club out there. Out there in Mount Vernon, right?
Vernon,
Is it still going?
Yeah, the Baseline Club in Mount Vernon.
Right.
It's a historic place. Used to be a speakeasy in the 30s.
Uh-huh.
And George Raft, Charlie Chaplin, and different people used to hang out there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
Frank
about that
Sinatra,
part.
Frank Sinatra. And, well, it was right in front of the train station, Mount Vernon East train station.
Uh-huh.
So they used to get outside the city and kind of do their thing and
There
then
you
come back
go.
downtown later on.
No, you didn't tell me about that before. I
Yeah.
went up there and made a few appearances with you and
That's right,
Norman
that's right.
Connors.
Norman Connors, that's right, yeah.
How does that song go? I'm not going to sing it, but you can.
You go on my starship. Come take me up tonight.
And we played on the Quiet Storm on BLS.
That's
of
right,
course.
that's right, that's right,
So
that's right.
you've been playing for some time now.
Yes,
Give
yes.
us a little history of.
Well, I
Duke
started
Jones.
playing in school, the school bands in high school and grade school in White Plains, New York, and then we in the high school lunchroom we formed this band, myself.
Oh, yeah?
and a drummer, Porter Carroll, and that group was called New Band. And New Band, we used to play tri-state area, everywhere, downtown, Greenwich Village.
But within the school, the girls are like, "Oh yeah, look at the people in that group."
Yeah, and we actually wound up doing 2 albums.
Oh yeah,
called New Band 1 and 2, which just came out in Europe on BBE Music.
You cool, Clyde? You got that? Look, he's pulling up a record, digging in the crates over there.
And it was like interesting because the producer was the Beatles engineer that did Abbey Road.
Wow!
So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
really had his thing. We did it at Bell Sound Studios downtown. And it recently just came out, and that was like in the late 70s that it came out. So it seems there's a nostalgia now for that. And then what happened was, after we left high school, we went to California, and we became Atlantic Star at that point. And then, as you know, the different hit records we had with Atlantic Star, the Always, the Secret Lovers, and
Well, always, let me tell you, when I started doing the weekend edition of The Quiet Storm on WBLS, I think, was it Channel 7 came up, and they were looking for New York's top DJs featuring New York's top videos. The one I presented was Always by Atlantic Star.
Really?
I think it's somewhere out there on YouTube.
Yeah. It was a great band, and a lot of history to it. A lot of people don't know that it came out of New Band to Atlantic Star, and as a result, made some great music.
So New Band is a part of Atlantic Star.
It was the original members, and Sharon Bryant, Porter Carroll, and Jonathan Lewis. And so it's interesting that this New Band record has just been released, digitally remastered.
Wow.
And
Connect the dots, cool Clyde.
So, and then, after that I started working with Norman Connors and with Phyllis Hyman and Pharoah Sanders, and did a lot of concerts when he had This Is Your Life album out, and all through those years. And in between that, I've been playing little gigs when I can, just as a musician, recording records when I can, and also I've been producing. I started producing for Clarence Smith from SS Magazine.
Wow.
Started a record label, U Entertainment, and I did a bunch of producing for him back and forth in Brazil. He had a love for Brazilian music, and we mixed the American artists.
I saw you coming back from Brazil. We were at the airport.
That's
we did
right.
a big thing coming back from Let's see, we went to Salvador Bahia.
That's
and all
right.
that.
That's right. Yeah.
And I had a bunch of listeners with me from the radio station. Maybe
That's
8
right.
years
I
ago?
remember. I remember. Yeah.
6, 7,
yeah.
8 years ago. something
Yeah.
like that?
Right. And
you guys were at the airport. Yeah.
Right. We were going back and forth recording.
That was that project that
yeah.
you're working on.
American musicians and Brazilian musicians coming together.
Wow.
Because there's a whole community down there of R&B Brazilian
In
musicians
Brazil.
who, most people know the samba and this and that, but there's a whole community of rhythm and blues people who love all our singers, the Peabo Brysons and the Marvin Gayes. They idolize and sing and have had hit records in Brazil in that community.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get support for them from America to try to really bridge the gap and really, get something going with the two cultures. And
All right, when are you going back?
well, I don't know. I'm working on the project to try to get down there and do some more recording because it's nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you still got the club going on, and you
I have the club and the website to the club. If anybody wants to go see what's going on, it's www.bassline club.com.
Yeah.
And
it's right outside of the Bronx.
Yeah,
Right there in Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, right? First Street.
Right by the train station.
Right by the Mount Vernon East train station. We got something coming up. Well, I'm there every Friday night with my jazz quartet. But Sunday, the 13th of January, we have a tribute to Lee Morgan. And we have a promoter that comes in, VTY Jazz. It's www.VTY Jazz, and they're promoters. And they're bringing a tribute to Lee Morgan. They're doing all Lee Morgan's music. And they're having Brian Lynch be the trumpet player, who works with Eddie Palmieri and Tito Puente. And Willie Williams from Philadelphia on sax, and Donald Vega on keyboards. And, they rock the house. I mean, they do it once a month. And very special. They have food. And it's really a great Sunday from 5 to 8. So you can see it on the website.
We want to see it. We want to go down there and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the old-fashioned jam sessions.
There you go. There you go. These guys burn.
Improv and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's such an artistry to really see the artistry, the years that these guys have spent learning their craft, and see it. Yeah.
So tell us about Cafe Soul All Stars. Who are they?
That was when I was with Clarence and with the Essence Magazine record label, U Entertainment. We first did a cruise from after the Essence Music Festival. It was a cruise from New Orleans to Mexico on a cruise ship that left New Orleans on the last night of the Essence Music Festival. So I put a group together, a jazz group, and we played on the cruise ship, 7-night cruise to Mexico, and we left it Sunday night, like midnight from New Orleans. And
you guys have all the fun.
Went through the bayou. I didn't realize the bayou was like 8 hours before you even get to the ocean.
Wow.
And so we recorded out there, and we had a bunch of different guest artists. Renee McLean was there, Alex Blake, bass player, and so we recorded, and then when we came back to New York, I said, well, how can we even make this even better? Yeah. So about 6-8 months later, we went back in the studio, and we got John Lucien to do a track. We got Mesa did a couple tracks. George Benson did a track.
Wow.
Kenny Garrett, Bobby Lyle. So it's like each song has a special guest. So it's like a cafe where ideas come together. And people talk and exchange ideas, but it's a musical cafe.
Right.
And that's the Cafe Soul All Stars.
You got the call and response going on.
Yes,
people talking musically.
Yes, right. And the different tracks have the different features of different artists and what they do best.
Oh wow, we got to get one. How can we get that?
Yeah, well, it's definitely online now. I mean, it was in the stores, but as you see, stores are kind of thing of the past. But you can definitely Amazon
online, right?
Yeah, Amazon.com and any of the websites you can get the Cafe Soul All Stars. You can get New Band. It's all Amazon. Everything's online these days. Things have changed so much.
For people want to relax, you throw in that jazz CD. You want to drive somewhere, throw in that jazz CD.
That's
you want
true.
to just sit back, kick off your shoes, relax your feet in the house somewhere in the best part of your house. Just throw that CD on in the background and you just enjoy it, right? What's it called? Cafe
Soul All Stars.
Yeah.
That was the latest one. And like I said, the new band just came out about a couple of weeks ago. BBE Music, new band.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful. So what's next for you? You've been doing a lot of this. For years.
Well, right now, I'm still, trying to make the club happen and get people to come support it and come to the different events. But I'm still working on this Brazil project with a singer named Daniela Mercury is a big Brazilian singer. Has won Grammys, sold 20 million records. But never had an English record, English-speaking record. And with the World Cup and the Olympics coming to Brazil, she's going to be totally out front. You know, she's like a national treasure anyway, Queen of Carnival. And I'm working to try to get an American, really solid American recording on her. And so I'm in the process of trying to get funding for that and looking at different sponsors. And if anybody has a company they want,
let them know. Say, hey, I need your help.
If you have a company and you want your products in Brazil, and the masses of Brazilian people buy your products, supporting this artist is a gateway to that.
You can get it done for them.
Get it done. So, you know, and you could reach me. My email is DukeJonesNY@yahoo.com. So that's pretty simple. DukeJonesNY@yahoo.com.
There you go. I got to get out to the club and see you. Tell Norman Connors, everybody, say hello. Okay?
I will.
Yeah, I would love. When are you guys playing again?
I'm there every Friday night, and January 13th, that Sunday, is the VTY Jazz tribute to Lee Morgan.
There you go. Can you hit us with a little? I know you don't have the trumpet here, but sometimes you do.
Oh, beep, babadoo, bop, squeeze out.
Duke Jones in the house.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, very talented young man. Happy holidays to you.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Helio Panaverde Jr. He's going to perform. So stay tuned right here on Channel 67's Open.
Such a wonderful time of year. So wonderful to be here with all of you. Dreidel-filled stockings, menorah-top trees, carolers come knocking, our hearts are now at ease. Water goose meal is a miracle of meat, and if you're looking for a deal.
So here are the keys. Congratulations, it's officially yours. I'm sure you'll have many happy years here. Except for you, because you'll be gone 3 years from now, struck down by the same disease that got your father. So you won't be around for them. And sadly, it could have been detected early with a simple test, but you didn't have it. Okay, who wants to check out the backyard?
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Did you find the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yep.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to Open, everybody. DJ Kool Clyde on the ones and twos. And right now, it's time once again for our Music Mondays. Hit it up. You got it? You got it? Our next guest is a talented tenor singer who has performed Mozart plays and is currently performing with the Bronx Opera Company. So please welcome to the open stage, Rogelio Panaverde Jr. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Hey!
Angelicus, fit panis hominum, dat panis celicus figuris terminum, mores mirabilis, manducat Dominum, paper, servus et humilis, paper, servus et humilis. Panis Angelicus, fit panis hominum, dat panis celicus figuris terminum, ores mirabilis, manducat Dominum, paper, servus et humilis, paper, servus et humilis.
Rogelio Panaverde Jr. in the house. Let him hear you. Let him hear you. Let him feel you. There you go.
Thank you so much.
All right. Beautiful voice. Did you have music in your family growing up? or-
Yeah, it's actually in the blood.
It's in the blood.
I have to blame my parents for this.
You got to blame.
Yeah.
So your parents sing.
They are singers. It's a good thing that they took up banking professionally. So I get to sing, and
So they can bank some of the money.
Exactly.
How do you prepare your voice for opera? Because some people do different things backstage to get it
That's
all
true.
clear and like the me, and all that. So what do you do?
Well, sometimes you do get to those crazy vocalizations. That's how they call it. But I realized studying here, it's really a lot of mind work, though. I mean, it's more important to put your mind into it than your body into it. Of course, you do your usual breathing techniques, you do your scales, but it's really a lot of focus in terms of the mind, just putting yourself into what you're supposed to sing.
It seems like you have a wonderful upbringing, wonderful vocal training. What's your background? Where do you come from?
Oh, I'm actually a Filipino. I come from the Philippines. Come from Manila.
Okay.
I was actually an advertiser just before this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was crazy enough to jump into the music.
So advertising's not going to do it for me. Let me use my voice.
I don't want to earn money, so no, but seriously, it's just a deep love for music which got me here. So here I am. I'm doing my thing.
Tell us about the experience, your experience in the Philippines, and how it helped shape your career.
Well, the thing about growing up in the Philippines is that we have a really tight-knit family. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's a tight family value system that I grew up with, and so it's a really warm atmosphere that I grew up in, which is very conducive for making music. Mm-hmm. If you have a lot of love around you, it's easy to make music, which is really all about love.
So love is important.
Definitely.
Yeah, got to have it around you.
Got to have it around.
Got to have it like food.
Especially right now.
We eat it right now.
Oh, God.
You have children?
No.
You're working on it?
Yeah, I'm still working on the girl who's going to make my children.
Well, look, there's a lot out there.
So.
Do you want to ask?
Well, yeah, if you want to call me.
How exciting is it performing for the Bronx Opera?
It is. It's actually my first real professional opera break. Yeah. So I have to thank the Bronx for it. We actually performed here. This is where I did my first performance at the Lovinger Theater.
Oh, yeah, the Lovinger. That's a beautiful theater.
Beautiful theater. So thank you, Bronx Opera, and thank you, Lehman College, for getting me out there.
So where do you want to take it from here?
Just trying some more auditioning, doing some shows next year, doing some corporate shows this Christmas. So, if you guys are in the neighborhood, you might want to catch me.
So a lot of Christmas songs in a lot of different places. People, like corporations, are hiring you for Christmas parties and all that?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So where can they reach you?
Well,
there's always the next year for the Christmas parties. I know you got a lot of them booked this year, but
that's true.
Start getting ready now for next year.
There's I have actually a Facebook page. Everyone's on Facebook, so might as well do it there. It's Rogelio Peñaverde Jr. You can look for it there, and all my upcoming events are there, and you can get in touch with me right there too.
Yeah, is that a Filipino name? Rogelio?
It's actually a Spanish name.
Spanish, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Because you didn't pronounce that G there.
Yeah, it's
Rogelio.
Yeah, it's tough getting that though through Italians. So it's like, okay, I'll be Rogelio for you guys. But Rogelio, it's really Rogelio.
So you practice a bunch of Christmas songs.
Yes.
Can you take us home with one?
I actually prepared another sacred song with who's my friends going to sing with me.
Beautiful. All right. Well, come on the set. Give Rogelio Peñaverde Jr. a big round of applause, everybody. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you again.
You take us home, and I'll say this. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of our guests for tuning in, and thank you, our viewers, for watching. And don't forget to tune into an all-new Open this Wednesday with my man, host, Darren Jaime. All right? Always remember this. What you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. Have a happy holiday, and be safe. I love you all.
Dearest Lord, teach me to be generous. Teach me to serve you as I should. To give and not to count the cost. To fight and not to heed the wounds. To toil and not to seek for rest. To labor and ask not for reward. Save that of knowing that I do your most holy will. Take and receive, dearest Lord, teach me to be generous. serve